which explains.
So is that a Vigar brand bot lane on the other side?
I believe it's going to be a Vigar mid Nautilus support brand bot, most likely.
That would actually make more sense now that I look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. My bad.
I mean, the Nasus is in the hands of anyone that's playing into a champ like Malphite that can't really punish you that hard in lane. Is really, really good.
Channel points riding on this game.
Now,
I don't know where all of you lot have got all of these points from for all of this gamba, but I'm here for it.
Astral Infection CHD. Finally.
Yeah. Who is going to take this one?
I mean, I think this will be a pretty big
Oh, boy.
momentum shock for
30 seconds until minions spawn.
for both teams. So yeah, it's very, very easy to fall into or out of a rhythm depending on how this game goes. Neither team going for anything. I was gonna say anything different, anything interesting. Just 5 points.
But I think that's kind of to be expected, right? Both of these teams 4-0. Both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, if you
to do things.
if you can win a game without the flip level 1, then you can just get away with it realistically. But I mean, yeah, both junglers starting top side. Yeah. This mid lane match would be interesting.
Like
I think if the Veigar dies once, it's going to get very, very difficult though.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm also looking for I'm looking for 10 pairs of Merc Treads this game. Genuinely. Like, I'm actually just sat here waiting to see 10 pairs of Merc Treads.
I mean, I don't hate I wouldn't hate Swifties or something on the Darius and Jarvan maybe.
I mean, Swifties would be okay into the Wither, to be fair.
Yeah, the Wither, the brand right lies.
Okay, so we're gonna say 7 pairs of Merc Treads because there will be someone that buys tabbies.
There's always
Like,
someone that buys tabbies.
Someone will buy steel caps this game. It's going to happen. Spore getting the better of the early trades with the grasp of the Undying.
Malphite is just so funny.
Throw the cheese wheel at them, bro. Throw the cheese wheel at them. It's all you need to do. And I know that in this skin it's like a black hole, but that Q will always be the cheese wheel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Seraflop getting through his jungle ever so slightly faster than Queen Jaffe. That is a sentence I just said.
It is a sentence. One of the sentences of all time.
I'm just gonna say Jamie and Scott.
Yeah, let's
I'm not saying Queen Jaffe versus Seraflop. I'm sorry.
That is going to be a lot easier for the both of us. But Jamie, looking for the early gank here towards the bot lane is on a ward. So you would hope that Ara on fire and Juka jamming don't let anything happen here.
I mean, I think they stayed far enough up to not give away the fact that they saw it coming, maybe.
Yeah, wasted some time from the Jarvan.
I mean, the Jarvan, he does have the time to do this, so he's still a little bit ahead of Scott. Bekla. Queen Jaffe is here. It's the flash straight on top of him. The ignite as well. It's going to be enough. He's going to be knocked back into tower. The kill going to be returned. And I mean,
400 gold into the Darius.
I think this is worth overall if you're Sam, just because of the extra gold and the fact that your champ uses gold a lot better than Vi does. Obviously, Veigar though,
triple 3 swords,
still has that TP. They don't have vision of it this time. They do now, but they know it's there now. Is the big difference. And I mean, Sword so far getting along just fine against the Malphite. Not having too much trouble.
Yeah, I think that's one of the matchups where it's kind of the Malphite's a little bit an advantage until you get to around about that level 6 point when the Nasus starts having a few stacks behind him and has a little bit more power. Like, he has got a couple of points in E for a little bit of poke, a little bit of wave clear. And this matchup's just a bit of a sliding scale that slowly tilts back towards the Nasus from the Malphite.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the thing. I don't think Nasus is like the Smolder or the Aesol where it's just going, and it's just non-stop, and you're always, oh god, okay. Spore monitor is disconnecting apparently.
We're fine.
At least it's Nass versus Malphite. Yeah, so it's not like the Smolder really or the Asol where it's constantly getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Although it is infinite stacking, it is. There will come a point where he just is having a hard time, like either getting to people or if there's a lot of armor, armor, excuse me. Obviously with a little bit of help through the E, but it's
it's the
it's the normal bug.
Yeah.
We've been here a million times before, but Jarvan setting his sights on a potential roam towards his top lane. Sam there to join him on Darius. Does have that warded, however.
Yeah, if they managed to catch Christian here, well, nicely warded in the room a bit. If they'd have managed to catch onto the Nasus there, that could have been really bad. Touching further onto your point, Nasus, like you say, not as big of a, oh, you let him get to 30 minutes and you lose, as the Asol or the Smolder. Kind of helps when you don't give a champion permanent Elder Dragon.
Yeah.
Thought. And range damage. You know, permanent Elder Dragon.
Yeah, I think the range is the biggest thing about. I mean,
let's just think about that one for a second.
Even over Asol Smolder, the range is the really big thing because Asol outside of the E is like not really the longest range champ in the game, and he does have to kind of commit to get to you.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot easier than the Nasus later on in the game. And this bot lane is least interesting bot lane matchup in the history of the planet.
But that seems to be working out for CHD. A big CS lead starting to open up. About 12 CS already, 2 full waves.
That hook did not land. The Ignite gonna go down, heal being used before anything bad happens.
Yep, but taking the L other side of Astral Infection because they know that their jungler's on the top side. Or just beating a tower.
Just giving that tower a good whack.
Takes a tower shot, but she's blown Malphite. Who cares? Malphite eats those.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many what's the word? English evades me. I can't actually remember what I was gonna say. We're gonna move on. It'll come back to me at some point.
If it was important, it will come back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's not too much AD threat on the side of CHD.
Wait, look at the Darius. The Darius and the Jarvan stealing away the red buff. I thought we were gonna see the Vi walk in there.
They've been caught by just gonna escape with her life, but no red buff unfortunately. I mean, the Jarvan is only gonna get weaker now. Probably does want to get out onto the map.
Swords
yeah.
In people's inventories.
And Darius is now probably sitting on a lot of gold by now, right? Yeah, but 1.5k. The Nasus, however, is sitting on 2.1. Hasn't actually based yet. 8 minutes.
I don't think either of the top laners have.
Yeah. I mean, if we get a stack check on Nasus,
they haven't even used their potions yet.
He's at 162 at 8 minutes.
I mean, I don't know if that's good.
It's pretty good. It's I don't think it
sounds good.
Yeah,
a minute, right?
I don't 20 minute. I don't think it's completely insane, but it's pretty good.
Oh, that's a big first back for the Darius. Tiamat and a Phage.
I think once he gets the Stride Breaker, that's when the Veigar is gonna start having a hard time keeping him off him.
Yeah.
Because like he has the cage, but Veigar doesn't actually have any like really reliable hard CC.
Yeah, I mean this has been a really cagey early game so far. Which I guess when you look at two teams like this, two teams that have had such perfect starts to the season, games like this are going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be an absolute bloodbath with action left, right, and center, or you're going to get this where both teams kind of like boxers take time to just kind of feel each other out before building up towards the bigger team fights in the later game. So hopefully we're going to get some really close team fights later on to make up for this slightly quieter early game.
Yeah, I think it's just a game that both teams really want to win. I mean, overall, the gold lead quite strongly in favor of. I say quite strongly. It's a whole like 150-200, but the gold lead very slightly in favor of Astral Infection. I think most of that sitting on the Darius only. They are looking for a play in this bot lane. This is a 2v3, however. He's going to jump straight in with the Cataclysm. The Darius is here, but so is the Vi. I think this engage was way too early.
Yeah,
and he's going to try and escape with his life. The Ignite taking down. It's going to be enough. Aquatic Scourge finds himself in a lot of trouble. He's going to get one. The Q not up in time for the second. The Encore goes wide. And I think overall, very slightly advantageous for CHD. I think the engage from the Jarvan might just have been a little bit too early.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good engage. You catch both of the bot laners standing on top of each other, but there was no follow-up. The Darius not close enough. The Ziggs, I don't know why the ult wasn't thrown earlier. Maybe they weren't in range. But if you've got two people caught on top of each other in a Cataclysm, that circle is about the same size as the high damage center pit of the Ziggs ult. You want that landing on top of that brand and blowing that HP bar to smithereens. Not able to come through. Chaotic Disposition, take the fight.
Wither on the Spore. Gonna have to flash away. The Nasus ulti popped. 10-minute stack check as requested, sitting at 231, which is really good. It is going to be the second set. They're gonna have 6 scrubs actually off this if they get them all. CHD not too pleased with this. They're not going to be able to catch it.
Yeah.
That is disgusting at 11 minutes. There you go.
CHD looking really good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the 6 scrubs though could be a really big deal for the Darius, and the Ziggs as well. Huge tower pushing potential. But
Arius into Nasus, who wins that side lane? Because you would imagine that it would be the Darius into Nasus that we see in the later stages of this game.
Yeah, I mean, Davis informing me that at 11 minutes, that is crazy. So there we have. I used to play a lot of Nasus way back in the day when I started playing.
There is a reason that why Mr. Simeone was the Nasus pioneer. If you see Bekla Dogon.
Very close.
But yes, reading through Twitch chat when I touched on it earlier, it was Christian who was the original UNL Nasus.
Oh, so... Clefairy just walking up for nothing. The cease and desist going to come out. The Ziggs in an attempt to save her. She's going to get away with her life, and Queen Jaffe is caught out here. The Noxian Guillotine. He picks up that first reset. Ara on fire. The next victim, Sam, is running everyone down. Christian Simeone also in top lane, going to be able to escape with his life, but that is a huge swing in favor of Astral Infection. Clefairy
putting down the hurt as well with that Sunfire Cape completed.
Yeah, just walked up too far. Got the flash, could have left with that, but they wanted the kill. They just greeded a little bit too much. And the Darius and Jarvan both there to pounce, and now you have a 5-kill Darius.
Ooh,
Christian having to pop that ulti again. I mean, they're just kind of using it for the lower cooldown, just for the sake of Q stacks.
Yeah, Christian wants to become a monster as quickly as possible in this game, and he is stacking up to do so.
Oh, Queen Jaffe's here. He's too late.
They can't find the Malphite.
It is going to be the Merc Treads for Darius. I think this is when he really is going to start hurting.
Well, I see... My prediction is wrong, but I also do see 2 pairs of steel caps. So, however, to be fair, on the side of Celtic Disposition, I don't mind the steel caps quite so much because you have got the Jarvan Darius. So I don't mind it quite so much. But
yeah,
I still think Merc Treads are probably the way to go.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's... Yeah, I mean, looking at this game, it's still so close.
Yeah, Rift Tower is going to be started up here, and on top of those 6 grubs, we might see Astral Infection grab another split pushing or just tower killing tool for that rapidly growing arsenal.
It is very clear what they're setting out to do in this game. I mean, it's just
They want to break towers and they want to do it quickly.
They are looking towards Christian Simeone. Does have to flash away.
But there are 4 people. They could look for a dive here on the Nasus without the flash. I don't remember.
Doesn't have Ghost available either.
They call it Dominus because Dominus is the Renekton one, but they do the same thing. I don't remember what it's called. It's like Fury of the Sand.
Fury of the Sand. Yeah, it is.
How is it?
Ezzy, that's a lot of damage from the brand. The ult's gonna come out. It's bouncing off the minions, and he's going to fall. About 50 Teemos away from Brand when he died. This mid tower
straight into the mid lane.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of grubs for this.
Yeah.
The Draven diving in. Queen Jaffe is here. Aquatic Scourge trying not to fall right at the start of the fight. The cease and desist goes down onto it's a huge heal from the Q, but he's going to fall. Bekla gets away with his life, and it's an absolute disaster for Astral Infection. The TP is going to come down from Swarm, but Christian Simeone is here. It's not Swarm, it's Ezzy. He's going to get caught by the hook.
Oh, no.
And it goes from bad to worse for Astral Infection. Just blinding off.
Very, very quickly turning into who can have the biggest oopsie. First it was Chaotic Disposition in the bot side river, now it's Astral Infection in the mid lane. Both teams just going a little bit too over aggressive. Sure, they got the mid lane tower, but for 4 kills in trade, is it worth it?
Yeah, and I mean, it's this is now really, really difficult for Astral Infection.
Yeah, nearly getting that full mid lane tower in return there for Christian. Has that Sheen completed with all of the stacks on the Q. Going to be pumping out a lot of damage into these structures.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you do have this huge scaling advantage though for CHD.
Can we get a stack check on the Vigar, please?
We can indeed. He is at 117, which, as far as I know, is actually quite low for this point in the game. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know if that is good or not. But we shall see. Does have the Hex
Hour on fire.
Picked up.
Has to use the flash and the ghost to get away. I think the ghost might have been a little bit unnecessary, but Darius upper hand, a very scary spell. But he's just gonna walk straight back up for no reason.
Oh no.
I'm lost. I don't know what he turned for.
Oh no.
He was out. He used everything. Nasus knows he can't go down for this wave, but he was out with his life and he used everything, and he just walked straight back into his jungle. Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah,
CHD,
I guess that's just
giving up this Drake in return for this topside tower and the camps up there.
Which, to be fair, not a bad trade.
Yeah, at least in the way of objectives, Astral Infection have been by far and wide the biggest beneficiaries of them.
Definitely.
Astral Infection. Well, they have 3 team members on the straight looking for a play topside. Vi going to be able to escape with her life, but Aura on fire. Might be stepping up a little bit too far here. The hook goes into Duke jamming, but he's way too far forward.
Sacrificing himself for his APC.
Sometimes he thinks that anchor just weighs him down.
Forces the heal though. I think without the heal, Clefairy dies there, so
yeah.
Does burn.
Jaffe, the Cataclysm is going to catch her out. She does not have that Q to be able to escape the Zigzal, having to flash away from it. And slowly.
This is starting to devolve into
swinging back into a more even game state. Christian Simeone going to get pulled in by that upper hand. Does have to use the flash to get away. Veigar ulti not quite enough to finish him off. CHD don't want to walk up too far for this play.
And you can see all of the work that Christian Simeone has been doing, stacking this Nasus up. It's already showing its effectiveness. The Siphoning Strike's really outputting a lot of damage.
Yeah. But yeah, like slowly but surely, the game is getting closer and closer together. It's on a knife's edge, this one.
And we nearly have a death cap for Beckler in the mid lane as well.
I mean, one thing actually I didn't really point out before was just how well the Seraphine champ scales into like later points in the game. It will get to a point where you just can't get through the shields because they're up so often and they're so big. And I mean, it's with the Shirelias as well, the Darius. The Wither is obviously a problem for him, but Bekla being very, very, very careful to not lose his team the game. Bit of a CS lead opening up in jungle, and in bot lane for that matter. I think minions in general have been very swayed in favor of CHD.
Yeah, but I think that's in part to the objective focus that we've seen from Astral Infection.
Yeah, I mean that's just been a pretty common theme for CHD over the course of the season, because individually all of their players are good. Like a lot of them just like lower points because they're all falling or whatever. But pretty much everywhere except mid lane, I believe they're like 60 plus. Bekla using the cage too early. There's so much burst from that Darius.
7 kills now.
Yeah.
In the back pocket of Aquatic Scourge.
And despite the fact that the laning phase might be quite difficult when you're playing bruises into most mages, at this point in the game, when people are starting to queue up in side lanes, this is when it gets really, really difficult.
However, that does now bring about the death cap.
Yeah, he's just killing him with like 2 auto attacks out of Q and an ult.
Yeah, it's a little bit bad, a little bit yikes. But the gold almost dead even, so that would allude that the majority of the Astral Infection gold sits in the pockets of this Darius. So if he's able to be removed from a team fight, it could then fall apart very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean the cease and desist is a really, really big problem for him. Basically, effectively no counterplay to it for melee champs.
No. It is the haha you do not move button.
Yeah. On top of the Nautilus ulti as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll see how effectively Chaotic Disposition can layer those crowd controls on top of each other to prevent this Darius from reaching the more vulnerable carries, and also to buy space for Christian Simeone, because yes, whilst the Nasus will be pretty bulky, you would imagine the Darius won't have too much trouble cutting through him as well.
They're looking to make a play in bot lane.
We're about
Spore.
to find out here.
It's definitely not enough damage to kill him here. Seraphop is going to go in, maybe a tiny bit too early again, but this Nasus is very much caught out, and Spore does have that unstoppable force and the flash away over the wall, going to escape with her life, and Christian Simeone unfortunately not going to escape with his. The shutdown goes onto the Jarvan. I mean, I think overall the Nasus probably got more gold than he gave away, but this is no Nasus with the Drake coming up in 15 seconds. That is going to be soul point for Astral Infection if they get it.
Yeah, and you would imagine that there won't be any contest coming through from Chaotic Disposition, missing their top laner. Yeah, going to make it incredibly difficult to contest in the 4v5. But we have seen 4v5s won in this bot side river as recently as yesterday. Not that it looks like Chaotic Disposition will contest this though. Dragon over to Astral Infection, 1 away from the Infernal Soul.
Yeah, and it's I mean, we had that pretty big throw on the mid tower, but for the last 5-6 minutes, it's really felt like everything has been going in Astral Infection's favor.
Although saying that, the gold lead remains relatively
Oh, and
even.
Spore is too far up here. Doesn't have that unstoppable force quite yet. They're gonna have the damage to take her down. That Baron is coming up. The Encore trying to keep her top laner alive as long as she can, but Clefairy, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Spore, the burn, going to take her down. Unfortunately.
Just presses E on the Malphite's head. Cool guys don't look at explosions, runs away, lets the Malphite burn out. Not quite sure how you're burning a rock, but, you know, we won't ask those kinds of questions
Yeah,
here.
Clefairy Trying to get away with her life. Oh, I really thought that was close. Duka jamming might be caught out here. Aquatic Scourge trying to get into this fight. The Nautilus Salt's going to go down. The Cease and Desist, I assume, will be next. The Cataclysm is going to go down. Christian Simeone's caught by the Darius, but the Darius is going to be no more. Duka jamming on 1 HP. Clefairy having to flash away to save her life. But Seraflop in no man's land. Ara on fire. This Brand able to peel for himself so well. And this will be an 11th kill and a Baron, we presume, for CHD.
Yeah, now that Brand has arrived, kiting becomes so much easier. Every ability with a ridiculously long slow thanks to the burns from the passives, the stuns coming through as well. A very well executed fight from Chaotic Disposition, burning through the Sterax, burning through the Darius, and taking the jungler down too, netting themselves 2 kills and a Baron.
Yeah, and it's just it's so difficult for Sam to be able to play this out just because of how much CC they have and how much of it is like undodgeable. The Brand now got Rylai's as well, only going to make his life harder. This Vi is so strong. Did pick up that Force of Nature, which I think should make him a lot more durable, but you know, it's still Soul Point.
Yeah, it is.
They're going to get pulled back, and Sam is caught again, and he's going to fall. The Encore not going to find anyone in return. The Vi engage is going to come through. Clefairy is going to fall. Seraflop is going to be next, and it's gone. It's all gone so wrong, and Ezzy's going to be caught by the flash hook. No one on Astral Infection is able to move.
And again, it is... This game has just blown wide open in the space of a few minutes. We were just talking about how this looked quite even, and even though things were moving in the Astral Infection favour, the gold lead wasn't really splitting apart. We're now sat here a mere 3 or 4 minutes after that conversation with a 7,500 gold lead for Chaotic Disposition. And you begin to wonder, Ben, how did Astral Infection come back in this game?
Yeah, it's
Is that
really
Darius
hard.
that we thought, the Darius that we thought could be such a defining factor if he got rolling, if he got ahead, which he has managed to do, just seems to be completely ineffective in these team fights.
Yeah, he just can't really survive the length of the CC chain. And I think a lot of these fights though have felt like they're kind of Astral Infection are just going one by one, whereas the things like the Vi ulti or the hooks maybe not as effective if they're playing, you know, like alongside each other. I think ideally the Astral Infection want to be fighting on their terms. They want to be the ones engaging, but Aquatic Scourge caught out by the Wither. The Nasus trying to be locked up but taking absolutely no damage.
Yeah.
He is just so strong.
Sterax burn from the Darius, so that extra durability, that extra survivability, not going to be there in the next fight as Spore under fire here from Ara.
He hasn't gotten through the shield yet. There we go. He's finally made it. The Malphite is taking damage.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage now that the Canic Recurrent and the passive have both been expired.
And Teferi, oh, I can see it already before it's happened. Seraflop is going to be the one to get caught, but it's a huge encore. They might be able to pull something out of this fight. The cease and desist down onto Seraflop. It's a flash over the wall from Christian Simeone. Clefairy is next target for that Wither. Aquatic Scourge going to be able to catch out Queen Jaffe, but the cease and desist is going to come in. I thought it was used previously. And Clefairy doing everything she can to keep these monstrous CHD champions away from her. And she just can't.
It is almost laughable how much damage it feels like Chaotic Disposition are able to just take. And it is completely bizarre because they're running head first into the Ziggs, into the Seraphine, into the Darius. and they are able to eat the damage once again. No, they take 2 more kills and nobody falls. Dragon going to be secured, Soul Point going to be denied here for the next 5 minutes. And the writing really starting to seem like it's on the wall here. Where do Astral Infection look? Who do they look to pick? How do they think about getting themselves back into this game?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this Nasus can just fight for as long as he wants.
Yeah,
so it's
genuinely. And
this team composition is so oppressive.
And the thing is, this team composition, it feels really oppressive. Like, as we're watching the game, I can't imagine how it feels for Astral Infection, who are actually, in the game, trying to figure out how to best it. But even looking at it from the outside in, you think about what could Astral Infection have done differently in the ban phase. But you take out any of these 5 champions, and you can, realistically, you can plug and play a whole host of different champions into this comp and still have the exact same effect.
Yeah, it's just so rough. Set up as a 5-man in mid lane, trying to see can they find some silver lining.
Or are they just grouping up in the mid lane, waiting for the next fight to start? Hook goes wide from Juku jamming, but it will be up in the next couple of seconds. Baron back alive.
Aquatic Scourge, he's caught by the Wither, he's caught by the Nautilus. Oh, it's a big engage from Seraphlock, and then Subtle Force comes in as well. If there's ever a fight they're going to win, it's this one. The Encore is not enough to find anyone. Vi still fighting alone on the backline. Aquatic Scourge is going to fall, and I think this is going to spell the end of Astral Infection's win streak. They all fall.
And the real clinch point of that fight here for Chaotic Disposition, in my opinion, I may be wrong, is the Vi, is Queen Jaife on the on the Vi. Words not working.
That's going
just
to be
disrupting
it.
the backline, leaving the Darius 1v4 against the rest of Chaotic Disposition and not falling.